nearly died. She was in a coma for 2 weeks and I was there all day every day. Except to go home to shower and change. My sister decided that when I was at the hospital was the perfect time for her and her druggy girlfriend to jimmy the sliding door off the track. Break in and steal everything she could find. Jewelry. My camera. And yes. My daughter's piggy bank. The itch stole the piggy bank from a comatose kid. My sister has never been diagnosed with narcissism or a personality disorder other than OCD. But when we were younger she often enjoyed telling people before I met them that I had a difficult relationship with the truth so that they wouldn't want to be around me. I had the reputation of a liar and no friends for most of my preteen years. And she was popular in our homeschool group until she left and got into high school. After she left, I still didn't have friends. But neither did she. And she blamed me for it during her frequent temper tantrums. She would throw things, scream, cry, and threaten me with kitchen knives on a pretty regular basis. All of a sudden, the year that I turned 17 and she turned 21, the tantrum stopped and she got engaged. He moved in with us. The tantrum started again. And for once I wasn't the target. The worst fight they had happened when she caught him looking at a photo of a bikini model, which she considered cheating. She hit him full force with an open palm. And when our mum saw, she threatened to kick her out if she hit him again. They got married, moved out, and divorced within a year of him enlisting in the army. It's interesting really. My mom died recently. When I called my sister to come down the day before she died she said I thought she was going to die today. I'm not disappointed. But I can't keep missing work. The next day I called her to come to the hospital again as the doctor and I made the decision to take her off the ventilator. On the phone she said, well, can we pull out the tube as soon as I get there because I have plans tonight. She also proceeded to ask me for rent money that day. As I also lived with her. The things they say and don't realize how messed up it is really baffling. When she threw a cup of hot tea at my face because I refused to show her something on the computer. Or the time when she yelled at me for over an hour because I was really sick and had thrown up all over the bathroom sink. The same bathroom she had just cleaned. I stopped speaking with her over 7 years ago. My sister did something similar. She pulled extremely hot refried beans out of the microwave, a big bowl, and poured it on me. I was probably 6 and she was 10. I got massive burns from that. Another time we were arguing over who was going to ride our shared bike and she got so mad she shoved the handlebar in my face and it knocked my 2 front teeth. I had to get metal caps over top of them and was so embarrassed. Brother believes the world is his oyster and that friends and family and loved ones are his to control and exploit. He told a girl they are dating and she should buy him a car and take him out for dinner. Brother has also tried to burn down our childhood home thrice because mom didn't give him the things he wanted. We were poor and he knew that, but he honestly believes that he gets what he wants because that's how it should be. He also tried to sell my car. He still hounds me for the money he should have gotten if he sold it. When I was 10, my mom put a lock on my door because my brother started threatening to kill me and my mom in the night. When I was 14, he fixated on my mom and threatened to burn down our house, shoot my whole family, and steal all the valuables and drive away. That same year, he was 17. He took our car and ran away from home for 2 weeks. We ended up calling the police on him. When he came home, the police decided that it would be best if he lived somewhere else, so he did. As we were cleaning out his room we found hundreds of knives, a handgun, lighter fluid, gasoline and lighters. Lived an entire lifetime not being aware that it isn't normal to run to your bedroom and hide when dad gets home. That it isn't normal to be scared of your parents' reactions to, well, anything. Becoming a mom and having little kids that I just looked at and knew I could never beat them up for picking a flower, or shame them for not knowing how to hang a shelf, or throw grubs at them if they come outside, or throw potato salad at them if they say they don't want any. Yeah, it wasn't normal and only just now am I realizing all of that. It's always difficult to share my problems with them because they also had that same problem at some stage of their life and it was much harder for them than that is for me apparently. Brother was doted on as a child because he was gifted at basketball. Literally had no consequences growing up and could do whatever he wanted. Treated me and our parents like absolute crap and they still doted on him. While I would get the belt for the most benign and asinine stuff. My brother's life is absolute crap right now. He has no sense of self-worth and just gets handouts from my parents. He is in his late 30s and my parents are giving him money for rent and food. He wants everyone to feel sorry for him and expects everything to be handed to him. He can't do anything on his own and guilt trips and manipulates my parents into doing whatever it is he needs doing for him or just giving him extra funds. He has no incentive to change and is content playing video games all day while my parents just enable his lifestyle. At holidays he just talks down to me and tries to make me feel bad about how difficult his life is. I could care less about him and have no desire to talk to him until he makes some serious changes in his lifestyle and life choices. They are insane. And always mad about something petty. Somehow everything is related to their projected social image. Regardless of context or content. They can create a story about what they want or not want to believe. Then convince themselves it's true and hold you accountable for their ducked up image of you. I hated it. Mom, narcissist. Dad, alcoholic. Possible narc. Self-centered coward. Brother, golden child. Me, family scapegoat. Still working through the BS and healing at age 57. It can be done. I haven't spoke to my brother in 3-4 years. Last time I did he went off to my wife and that was the last straw for me. Since then, my parents have cut him off. He lost his job. And his life has spiraled. Not sure what he is up to now but my quality of life has improved with him not in it. My sister has dialed down her act a bit. After we have all spent a few years out of our aging NPD's whole father's house. I mostly remember a massive sense of entitlement that simply made no logical sense and would require a great deal of cognitive dissonance to explain. Like, she would never loan me things, CDs, EXC, but had no problem walking straight into my room, in front of my face, to take a bottle of body lotion to use on herself. She seemed to have no remorse for what her behavior did to others. So long as she got what she wanted out of the deal. Sometimes, she would just do insane mean and spiteful things for no reason. I talk to her from time to time. While is less of a self-involved sociopath, she still is insufferably self-righteous. IDK if this counts but my 6-year-old brother, he was 6 when this happened, once asked my mom if he could have some of her fries. She said yes and asked why. He replied with so I can hill seagulls. She asked why. And he replied with so I can bait them and then hill them with rocks. My mom also asked why he would do that. And he answered because I don't play enough Fortnite. Another time my friend accidentally stepped on my dog's paw and was like, oh god I'm so sorry and etc. Then, my brother from the other room yelled I wish I could break the dog's paw. He's done other things like talk about how he wouldn't miss me if I died and such. I've also had dreams about him killing everyone I know like family, pets and friends. Older brother. Highly narcissistic, same with my mother. Verbally cruel and manipulative and always project blame onto others, never acknowledging their own behavior. I do not speak with either over them. My brother for over 5 years and my mother for over a year. My sister is way too into herself. She has no real friends but she has like 60,000 Instagram followers. She literally just spends her money on new clothes and the newest iPhone to take selfies. And when I say she has no real friends I really mean it. She never leaves the house. Never had a job. Dropped out of high school. But she thinks she's the greatest thing God graced this planet with. I don't really talk to her because anytime I try she's just taking pictures of herself with different outfits. It's really annoying. I don't know why my parents condone finance this lifestyle. She gets it from my mom. She's kind of the same way. You feel your life isn't your own. Everything will revolve around them. Constantly causing drama and trouble. Sister who would steal from you. Never ending drama. Tried to steal my boyfriend repeatedly. Actually broke into one sister's house and robbed her. Can't tell the truth ever. Disowned her about 10 years ago after her awful treatment of terminally ill mother. Peace since then. Growing up. She had total control of my life. She criticized what I wore. Listened to. Ate. Everything. If I was different I was weird. If I liked what she liked then I was copying her. She tried to scare me multiple times with guns and knives. Claiming she never would actually hurt me but she would hold up a samurai sword to my throat and tell me if I moved I died. Eventually she had a kid when she was 19 and I was 16. And for a year she was a good mother and then decided she didn't want to be a mom anymore. I've seen her ruin countless people's lives. Spanning from just stringing them along to drowning their bank accounts to contributing to them being put in jail for domestic abuse. She's still waiting for trial on her charge. I despise her and she is not family to me. I had so many issues growing up that only stemmed from things she did to me and I don't want to see my niece grow up like that. My parents are doing a wonderful job of raising her but she doesn't understand why mommy isn't there and it breaks my heart. Every only child should read comments like these before deciding they got the short end of the stick in life by not having a sibling, a live-in childhood friend. It doesn't always work out that way. Hopefully most sibling relationships are healthy and happy throughout life. But some of them are a lifetime commitment of frustration and misery about which you can do very little. My dad is a sociopath. He raised me. It's very difficult having basic friendships. Relationships. Holding a job. The way I was raised is extremely unconventional, leading me to not react to normal situations as a typical person would. I'm not old enough to block him out of my life. He is abusive and autistic and has orderly known as Asperger's. He shows every warning sign only on a sociopath. And he threatens to kill me every day. My narcissistic brother is almost 10 years older than I. So I don't remember a lot of the things he did. I know the stories. Though. He left home at 16. We did have a relationship as adults. But I cut it off realizing that he hadn't changed. He's stolen from my family members. Is a pathological liar. And a con man to say the least. We call him Con Mandon. He has even lied to his children about having cancer. He is a piece of work. He has never ever acknowledged anything he's done. In fact he acts like none of it ever happened. As of now. We do not talk. I am close to his children. I get joy out of family events my brother actually attends because I make him super uncomfortable. I also have an older sister who has gaslighted me my entire life. I didn't realize it till adulthood when people would point out her behavior to me. And question it. She's narcissistic in many ways too. Never sees the error of her own ways. I can be around her. But I have to keep it limited. I finally learned to have boundaries. Not a blood sibling. But my cousin I grew up in the same house with. We considered each other brother and sister. He committed suicide in 2016. And it wasn't until then I realized how ducked up he was. He was abusive to the family pets, throwing them across the room. Constantly said how he's going to end up in prison for killing someone. And made comments about how grape isn't grape if the woman isn't screaming and fighting back. When I was 6 to 9 he'd throw me in 2 doors and tackle me to the ground. Choking me. Memories of that are far and few due to the gaslighting from the rest of my family. Not a sibling. A cousin. When I was 8 and my cousin was 7 I noticed my dog, Puck, missing one day. I only noticed after everything that she wasn't there that morning. I was going to ask my best friend to go play hide and seek with me. In my hiding spot I could hear my dog whimpering and as I looked for my dog, I found her with all of her teeth ripped out and scissors in her right eye. After minor surgery she is fine and, not to say I'm happy about it, she looks hella cute even with a stitched tie. I don't know what happened to my cousin but him and his parents were taken out of our lives forever. I'm not even totally sure of my older brother's diagnosis, but several years ago I found out through his journal that he had an elaborate plan to murder me and had apparently attempted to before, but couldn't go through with it. His reasoning was mostly because I was mean to him as a child. But really he was the one cruel to me. The part that really ducks me up is that both my parents knew about his wish to kill me and never said anything to me. Let us sleep under the same roof. They always coddled and treated him differently than me. He is severely mentally ill. Likely a psychopath. Has been in a mental hospital now for several years. I cut contact with my parents as soon as I moved out. God, my sister is a sociopath. She has no idea that her words and actions can hurt. She's nice enough, but when I can, if she hasn't changed, I'll probably reduce the amount of contact. She's super hard to be around and she also thinks she's better at everything. She's not. She's a living breathing female Sherlock without the charismatic friend or cool mind reading trick. Instead she'll just say that you look fat and that dresses probably is the truth, but like, you just don't say that. I didn't even ask. This was a few years ago, but my sister-in-law, who is a lawyer and who is very well off, has told me in casual conversation that she strangles her kids sometimes. That I needn't be worried because her kids know that she loves them. I worry now for her husband, who I consider to be a very close friend. He very suddenly has changed his mind about his religious views and become a flat earther. I don't know how to approach this situation because it is my wife's family, so I just try to be as supportive to my wife when she is hurting for their situation. She loves them so much.